All right, this past weekend, October 7th, in the Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California, Bellator 300 went down. That's right, Bellator's 300th event, headlined by Usman Nurmagomedov defending his Bellator lightweight title against Brent Primus, getting it done by unanimous decision. Mark, give us your thoughts on Nurmagomedov getting another win and staying perfect now 18-0 as a professional mixed martial artist. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Usman Nurmagomedov is a special fighter. There is nothing he can't do. He does it all with such a calmness about him. I don't know who I've even seen that appears to be able to slow down the fight in his mind the way that Usman Nurmagomedov can. Like, there is nothing that phases him, that gets him off his rhythm, that speeds him up. He's just been a perfect fighter thus far. Like, it's as if he's detached and controlling himself with a video game controller.
Yeah.
He's that perfect in his execution, and he was all that for 25 minutes against Brent Primus. Was it a bit boring at times? Yeah, I get why the crowd was restless. But I did tell you last week that Brent Primus was a hard guy to put out and a hard guy to even necessarily style on. And that proved to be true. Like, was it a clear 50-45 for Usman? Yes, it was. Did he get to look spectacular doing it? Not really. Primus he just doesn't make it so easy to do that. But yeah, it was a great performance. You know who he reminds me of, honestly? And this, I guess, is a bit extreme. But John Jones, in that he is so good in every aspect of the game and so good at blending them that he will just be comfortable to dictate the fight for as long as he needs to until the opening presents itself. And if it does, then a fantastic finish comes. If it doesn't, you get these fights that kind of seem a bit boring just because he's so in control. And I feel like it was kind of similar during John's run. But that's what we got here, the second one. But either way, it was a clear dominant W for Usman, and he continues to show how good he is.
Omar, what were your thoughts on Russian John Jones getting the win?
It's a good win, man. Brent Primus tried it. He tried everything he could in there. You could see how hard he fought throughout that entire 5 rounds. I feel like the restlessness, at least for me in that fight, was me feeling like Usman could have done more. And I think he was content to sort of just do enough to get through the rounds. And it's not to say that he could have styled on Brent Primus, but there were a lot of moments where I think he could have done a little bit more to try and find a finish, or try to at least create an opening or an opportunity for a finish. And we never really got there. And I think that approach to the fight, I think, made it difficult to fully enjoy it in that sense. So I definitely also understand the boos and the frustration in that fight. But with that being said, Usman's performance is really good, man. I mean, you can't really say anything about his skill and his technique. You wish you saw more. You wish he can do more. But what he did perform in there, and the way that he was able to kind of neutralize Brent Primus, who was like trying to go nonstop in that fight, was impressive. He's really good, man. He's definitely a problem. I wonder if we ever get to see him in the UFC, but either way, man, he's a big problem.
I hope so, man. I mean, like, trying to think about how good he is, right? Like, in terms of who he's beaten to this point, I guess he probably wouldn't be ranked in the UFC as of yet. But, like, just as an example, if I told you that he was going to fight Bobby Green, who would you be picking?
Oh, him.
Right? Like, pretty comfortably. So, like, that means this dude is already, like, top 10 level lightweight, as young as he is. Which, even a few fights ago, I didn't feel like we were there yet, and now I'm kind of like, damn, yeah, he's this good. So I do certainly hope we see him end up in the UFC.
I think similar to Chandler, I think he comes in and he immediately fights for a number 1 contender kind of fight.
Very possible.
A title eliminator. And if he gets that win, he's going straight to the title because he's so good.
Yeah, I mean, the one that we wanted to see that would have told us a lot is him in the finals against AJ McKee.
Yeah.
But of course,
Yeah.
AJ McKee fell out, and now it won't be AJ McKee in those finals. But that one really would have told us a lot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I
All right.
agree.
What could be next for these two guys? Mark?
Well, so to carry on from what I was just saying, obviously we know for Usman, he will be in the finals of the Grand Prix. He'll be waiting for the winner of the remaining semifinal, which is Alexander Shabliy and Patricky Pitbull. He already beat Pitbull. Obviously, that's who he beat to take the title. So as a fan, I'm kind of hoping it's Shabliy. At least that's a fresh matchup, and Shabliy has looked really good. He finished Brent Primus, which is the only guy who has done that. So maybe that's what we get. Could be a rematch with Pitbull. Who knows? But either way, Usman will look to add Bellator Grand Prix champion and $1 million to his resume in the next one. And or should I go right to Primus, or should I? Yeah, I guess, right? In that same fight, if Patricky Pitbull loses that semifinal, I think he's a perfect opponent for Primus because that's a fight we're yet to see in Bellator between those two. If Shabliy is the loser, doesn't work considering, as I just said, he finished Primus pretty recently, and the rest of this division is kind of booked up. They even, I don't know if you guys saw, they booked AJ McKee against Sidney Outlaw, which could be some fun grappling in that one. And most of the other guys are booked as well, so I think it becomes more of a wait and see for Primus if that's how that semi plays out.
Nice.